All right, this is a vinyasa flow working toward the arm balance Ekapada Koundinyasana beat. We'll start in standing. Mountain pose, Tadasana, catch a deep breath. Start to move your breath in and out of your nose, and then move your wrists around. Stretch your body out in any way that it feels good. I'm starting with some standing cat-cows, rounding as I exhale, and then inhale, opening your chest, whether you reach your arms up or stretch them out behind you. And then also I'm going to hug around my chest, so you can hug opposite shoulders. As you exhale, round, inhale, stretch back open. And just another one of those, rounding, exhale, inhale, opening. And then a big stretch up with your arms to forward fold, exhale, Uttanasana. In a standing forward fold here, pedal out your knees one knee at a time, can bend, lift your heels, pedal out your legs. If you walk your hands forward a little bit, it might take the tension out of your hamstrings. You could also use blocks under your hands. Shake your head out, relax your face and jaw. Let's take this in a half lift. Inhale, lengthen your chest. Exhale, fold. Again, half lift. Maybe now your hands to your shins, pressing your chest even higher. Exhale, fold back in. And then let's step back, downward facing dog. 1 foot at a time, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press your arms forward, lift your heels. Soft bend in the knees. Or, if it feels better, to activate your thighs and pull those thigh bones up and back. Maybe alternating between the two, bending your knees and straightening. Just take a couple more breaths here to feel the balance in this shape, downward facing dog. Feel the arm balance in this pose, working strengthen your wrists and shoulders. All right, let's take this down to kneeling pose. Knees down as you inhale, point your toes back and sit back, child's pose. Exhale, hips to heels. Keep your arms stretching forward to keep the heat building in your arms to prepare for the arm balance. And engage your core here in child's pose. Forehead rests on the floor. Smooth breath in and out of your nose. We'll come back up into tabletop on your next inhale. And then we'll move back into downward facing dog. Tuck your toes. Exhale. Adho Mukha Svanasana as you lift your knees and lift your hips. Take your right foot and step it up between your hands, lunging on your fingers. Open your chest, drop your hips a little bit, stretching out the front of the left hip. And step right back, downward facing dog. Exhale. Lunge your left foot forward. Again, runner's lunge on your fingertips. Lift your chest. Drop your hips slightly. Exhale, downward facing dog. Step your left foot back. Inhale here and exhale. And then on your next inhale, look forward and step or hop up to the top of your mat. Half lift and exhale, fold into your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, unfold, reach your arms, Urdhva Hastasana. Standing pose, Samastitihi, exhale. Reach back up as you inhale, press tall, fold as you exhale. Downward facing dog, step back. Inhale to step back, exhale, sink into down dog. Inhale, knees to your mat. Exhale, just keep the toes tucked, child's pose. Inhale, shoot forward into cobra. So you just melt right into cobra. Lift your chest, lift your heart. Exhale, up and back. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, downward facing dog. So that's our first sun salutation, a very modified version. Warming you up for those arm balances and more. Right foot steps forward, lower your left knee down. This time lift your arms either to your heart or up to the ceiling. Koundinyasana, low lunge. Keep pressing down into your right heel, stretching your left toes back. One more breath here as you exhale, hands down. Take your right leg into a straight position so your left knee is still on the floor and you're in a half split. Flex your right ankle and lift up to your fingertips or 2 blocks here. Keep your low back lengthened out here so you're not forward folding and rounding your spine. We're trying to really get into that hamstring, not the back so much. And plus, this will help you in the arm balance, the feeling of stretching forward with your chest. Pyramid pose. Straighten out both legs. The left heel is angled back. The right toes point straight forward. And then lengthen your chest out here. Again, blocks are going to be helpful here if you feel there's a massive rounding in your spine. Really connect to the deep spinal muscles that are extending your spine and lengthening your chest away from your hips. And keep your feet grounded, rooted, just awareness of your feet on the floor. Step back with your next exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale into plank pose, and if you'd like to go through that modified chaturanga again, drop your knees first, or here in plank, hold for just a breath or two. Keep those thighs strong, and then bend your elbows. Halfway mark, hold here, so either kneeling or straight leg hold. And then inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Couple breaths here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking the extra breath in that chaturanga vinyasa just to slow down a little bit and feel the strength in your arms. So not holding the breath, just holding the posture. All right, left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up or take your hands to your heart. Koundinyasana, low lunge. Again, drive down through the center of your left heel and stretch back through your right toes. One more big inhale. Exhale, release down to the ground so you can shift your hips back for half split Ardha Hanumanasana. Right hip is over the knee, left leg straightens out, and flex your left toes, left ankle. Chest forward through your shoulders. Really use those muscles in the back and the core to press your chest long. Stretch it away from your hips. And we'll move into that pyramid stretch here, tucking your right toes under, lift your hips, straighten both legs, turn that right heel down on an angle, left toes point straight forward. And then you can forward fold into it here. There's a rounding in my spine that I want to fix now. I want to really get into those core muscles to prepare for the arm balance. It's the same biomechanics that I want in that arm balance. My chest is stretching forward. My core is strong, back is strong. Not a flat back. Natural spine, neutral spine. All right, step back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And again, inhale when you're ready into plank pose. And you could take that modified approach with a kneeling plank. Couple breaths here. And your chest is open, same thing. Chaturanga, chest is open. Those muscles are still working to push your chest forward. Hold the pose, breathe. Flip to the tops of your feet, chest up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, you're going to take your next inhale to look forward and step or hop up. Lengthen out, and then exhale, hug in. Here you can release that spine. Press down into your feet to reach up, Urdhva Hastasana, Samastitihi, exhale, standing pose. Take a couple rounds of breath here as long as you need, and then move on when you're ready. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva. As you fold, exhale, hands down, head down, gentle rounding in the spine. Lift your left leg and then take that extension back into your spine, so extending your chest forward. Then land deep at the back of your mat with your left foot, warrior one, right knee is bent. And here's the extension again in your spine. So take that energetic approach to that extending so you're not wasting your energy. You're conserving it and balancing out over the whole posture, your energy. Step back into plank, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So you feel extension in your spine. big inhale, step or hop forward. Still feel that extension in your spine, and then exhale, round in. Half lift, lift your right leg this time. Feel that extension, but you don't want to overwork the back muscles. So they don't want to cramp. Right heel down, back, deep, left knee bends. Inhale, lift and lengthen. So there's still some component of relaxation here, some softness around that extension. A strong core, strong spine, strong legs here. Warrior one. And then release back down to the floor. Step back plank pose. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Another big round of breath here before we move on. Again, if you need more time, please pause here and take more time. On your next inhale, step or hop forward. Inhale, half lift, lengthen out, use those back muscles and core, and exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Samastitihi, exhale, standing pose. All right, catch a breath or two here. Make sure you're not dizzy or lightheaded. And on your next inhale, start to sweep your arms up, Urdhva. Fold as you exhale, Uttanasana. All right, we're going to do that leg lift again. So lift your chest up, lengthen out your torso, lift your left leg, but bend your left knee this time. Kind of open up the hip a little bit. Bend your right knee as you land back deep on your left foot. Warrior two this time. Make sure your right knee isn't tracking in. It's lining up with your second right toe. Press back with your left leg, forward with your right knee. And here, feel the extension in your spine, conserving your energy so you're not overextending. Straighten your right leg, reach your arms up as you split your right hand down, exhale, and stretch out away from your hips, triangle pose, but you're stretching out over your right leg. Left hand remains up, right hand pushes away. So the right hand pushes the floor or your foot or your shin away. All right, step back, downward facing dog. As you exhale, sweep your right leg up to the ceiling. Inhale. Squeeze your right knee into your chest. Step your right foot forward. And then come back up to that standing L shape. But this time, open your left hip. Half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Lift that left foot up as high as you can, even higher than your head. So it's a diagonal line from your heel down to your head. We're going to land back down on the floor. Left hand down, left foot down. Softly bend your knees and melt down into Malasana, garland pose. You can hug your knees here, or you can split your knees and roll down inside your thighs with your ribs. Grab opposite elbows or use blocks on the floor, but just a moment to round your back and release that extension. All right, let's roll back up to a forward bend. Exhale. And then half lift. Lift your right leg up. Bend your right knee. Open that hip a little bit. Feel your back muscles working again. Landing right back down on that right foot. Warrior two. Bend your left knee. Open your arms as you stack your shoulders up over your hips. Notice if your hips feel level or uneven. Try to push that left hip up a little higher if it feels lower. Usually that works. To get that to work, you just bend your left knee a little bit more, press it forward, and keep squeezing the outer left knee towards your left pinky toe. Okay, reach up, big inhale, straighten your left leg, and then split your left hand down as you stretch out over your left leg. Right hand remains stretching up, left hand pushing down. You got a lot of weight over your left leg, so don't let that right leg forget to do its work. Squeeze the right glutes, squeeze the right thigh, and press through the right heel. All right, back to the floor with your hands. Bend your left knee in the process. Get the right foot powered up so you can sweep your left leg up, three-leg dog. Squeeze your left knee back into your chest, step back up to the top of your mat with your foot, and then half moon here. Find your balance, and when you're ready, lift your right hip up a little higher, open the right hip slightly, point the right toes out, and then your right arm can start to come to your hip, and then maybe even stretch your right hand up to the ceiling. And keep your gaze down to the floor for this. So really just looking for balance here. Feel the line of energy from your head to your heel and the extension in your back. All right, softly melt back down into that squat, feet together. You can keep your knees together and hug, or you can open your knees a little bit. We're going to come down to the sit bones. Use your hands on the floor for balance to get there. Boat pose. Koundinyasana. Lift your feet, either knees bent or straight. Lift your chest. Feel the back muscles and the front core muscles. Lower down to a half boat. Hollow out your body. Keep your chin towards chest. Look towards your toes. Lift, lift, lift. Kind of gets hard there. Back up to boat. Feel those back muscles extending your spine. So try to get the rounding out of your back. And then bend your knees and come on down to your back. Catch yourself halfway though with your hands on your shins. That's a nice little back stretch. Then continue on to Apanasana. Knees to chest, head on the floor, shoulders on the floor. Give yourself a little squeeze. Take your legs overhead at this point for plow pose. Halasana. Hands can be on the floor wide. Arms are on the floor as part of the foundation here. And then you can start to take this up into shoulder stand. Salam Sarvangasana. Hands on your back. Feet up to the ceiling. Put the weight of your body into your hands and your elbows. Feel your elbows. They're a kickstand here. They're kickstands. All right, back into plow, toes overhead. And then at this point, if you can interlace your fingers behind your back. Otherwise, revisit the arms open up behind you, palms on the floor. Breathing from your belly in and up, and take your knees to your forehead, especially if this is putting way too much tension on your back or your hamstrings. We're going to roll back down to the floor slowly, hands flat on the floor at this point to anchor. And then your feet come to the floor. Let your knees just rest to the ceiling. Head on the floor. Hug your knees back in to roll back up to seated. Forward fold, Paschimottanasana, straight leg forward fold. You can let your back round out here, but lift your chin, lift your chest, open your neck, and then feel the extension in your back a little bit. So there's a nice balance of that extension, effort, and then softness, ease. All right, we're going to come back up to seated, and then we are going to come back up to that squatting position. So you can use your hands on the floor behind you. Just give yourself a little push back up to your feet, Malasana garland pose. Bow in here for another moment or two. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Start to straighten out your legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Samastitihi, standing pose. Reach back up as you inhale and fold as you exhale. Step your left leg back. Keep your right foot at the top of your mat. Just move it over to the side a little bit so you can come inside of your foot with your hands. Lizard lunge. Again, the extension in the spine. Maybe blocks under your hands in order to feel this. If you can't feel the extension, if your back is rounding. And this is all set up for the arm balance. So we want to get length and mobility in the inner thighs without rounding the spine. The next stretch here will be a half split, but a wide half split. So with your foot out wide, you can either slide it away from you into a full kicked out split, or keep the left knee bent for a half kicked out split. And again, feel your back engaging here to lift your chest. Okay, so get your hands to flatten out on the floor and take that right leg out behind you, 3-leg dog. You can bend the knee, move it around a little bit if you need. All right, we're going to move into some of this prep for this arm balance. Take your right knee to your right arm. Bend your elbows, chaturanga. Press back up straight arms, sweep your right foot back up. We'll do that again. I'll show you if you need to pause and watch the video. Knee out onto the arm. Keep the knee bent. Chaturanga, maybe even straighten your leg out this time. Push back up, straight arms, sweep the right leg up, three-leg dog. All right, here we go again. Knee, elbow, triceps if you can. Bend your arms, then maybe you float your back leg off the floor. If you can kick your right leg straight, you can keep the right knee bent. It does not ever need to straighten out. And then back up, three-leg dog. All right, so I'm going to go into pigeon, Ekapada Kapotasana, right knee between my hands. Left leg stretches out behind, and I'm going to take a forward bend here just to rest. That all happened very quickly, so while I'm resting here, if you want to go back and redo that arm balance prep into the arm balance, and then you can take this three-leg pigeon, or this one-leg pigeon to relax and just recoup before the second side, especially your wrists, give them a break. They need some time to breathe. All right, I'm going to come back up. I'm going to stretch back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale. A couple rounds of breath here. Step or hop forward. Inhale. Lengthen a little, and then exhale, fold. Okay, we're going to go into the second side. So the right leg steps back this time for that lizard lunge. Move your left foot off to the left so you can get your hands inside your left foot. And right away, connect to that subtle spinal extension so you're not overworking your spine. And it's also not just rounding and collapsing into the arm balance. So right here is the arm balance, right here. Think of this as the start to the arm balance. Then that half split. You can stay with the knee bent, or you can and then you could slide that left leg out and take the right knee out of bend into extension. If you need to come down to your elbows or stay on your hands, or maybe even just slide your foot out a little bit, you could put a block under the back of your left knee. A lot of ways you could modify this. All of these preparatory steps, please feel free to pause the video and stay in them a little longer, and maybe even choose not to go on to the next step. All right, just sweep that left leg up and back. Here we go, right into the arm balance. Arms are strong. Left knee up, out, and around the left arm. Keep the knee bent. Bend your elbows. Press back up, straight arms. Sweep your left leg up, three-leg dog. Adding on. And knee to arm. Bend the elbows. Maybe kick the left foot out straight. Bend the knee. Press your arm straight. Push up and back, three-leg dog. And the last little here to the actual arm balance. Last little bit of work. Left knee, outer arm. Bend the elbows. Keep the left knee bent or straighten it, and then see if you can lift that right leg. Your spine is extending there. So that's going to keep you from falling on your face, keeping that spinal extension that we've been working the whole class. All right, and then into pigeon stretch, left knee to chest, Ekapada Kapotasana, one leg pigeon. Knee on the floor, left heel to right hip, and fold. Relax. Give your arms a break. And also give that spinal extension a break. So your spine muscles were working, and you don't expect that so much from an arm balance. You think it's all arms, but it's so much of everything: legs, core, back muscles, and arms. All right, back up into downward facing dog after you've taken enough time there to recoup. Couple breaths here just to ground and balance, and then knees to the floor. Split your feet apart, sit between your heels, Virasana. Another moment here to balance and situate yourself upright and not be in an arm balance or forward bend. This is also really good recovery for your inner thighs. Your thighs are internally rotating, no longer putting that strain and stretch on the inner thigh muscles. And now it's the top of the thighs, outer hips a little bit, fronts of your shins. So letting everything kind of settle back into place. Just focus on your breath here, moving in and out of your nose. All right, and then come forward so you can scoot your feet off to the left. and twist to the right. Bharadvajasana. All right, inhale, untwist, come back into table. Before we move into the second side, some rounds of cat-cow. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, open your chest. I'm going to move right into the second side. If you want more time there in cat-cow, please do. But when you're ready, sweep your feet off to the right. Twist to your left. Open your chest here. A gentler version and expression of that spinal extension. Just taking it down slowly. Coming down from that intensity of the arm balance. Okay, inhale, untwist, table for your cat-cow. Again, as many rounds as you feel that you need to recover from the twist. And then eventually landing in a seated position. Forward fold, Paschimottanasana, exhale. Any expression here that you like, you can wrap your arms around your feet. Pillow your forehead with blocks or fists or any other bolsters or cushions that you've got handy. But just let your back relax here. Let it round out. Again, recovering from that massive spinal extension. Okay, let's make our way back down to a reclining position. So inhale out of your fold and lower down on your exhale. And take a moment here just to let your shoulders relax. Stretch your arms and your legs out, full body stretch. Hug your right knee into your chest, one leg Apanasana. Stretch out again, full body stretch. And left knee hug in, exhale. And again, inhale, big stretch out, full body. Both knees, exhale, hug in. We'll take this into a twist. So if you have a setup that you enjoy for your twist, a different leg variation, set it up now. Open your arms out into a T and let your knees drift off to the left. Focusing on your breath here, moving in and out of your nose from your belly into your back. Also trying to move into this posture without the intensity that we moved through the whole practice. So this is much more passive and relaxing. And then drift off to the second side as you're ready. Knees off to your right. And let the floor just hold you here in this twist. Feel the support of the floor. Arms no longer working. Breath still working, but with a different goal. For relaxation now. All right, any additional stretches that you need before moving into Shavasana, if you'd like happy baby or any additional twists or forward bends, take your time. And then let your body relax into a full Shavasana shape. Free up your feet and your fingers. Wiggle them around and release any energy that's still hanging on. Maybe it's in your face or your jaw. You need to kind of stretch your mouth out a little bit, or your face. Relax your tongue. And then just notice your breath as it sinks you deeper into Shavasana, and stay here as long as you can. Good job, yogis.